guys? It's your girl SeekretD. And you know what? I watched two videos before I left work. I mean, I was working and was just playing, so I didn't really watch it. I listened to it. Let me make it sound PC, because I was working, okay? Anyway, I'm going to discuss them both. But first, we're going to talk about Kendra. So, she had a guest that came on her show, and the young lady, I think, was 26, and she was discussing her children and the fact that her children were not living with her at the moment. So, generally speaking, we know that the majority of the time, the woman is the primary caregiver for the child. And it's interesting. It's very interesting to watch these things, because, and then you read the comments and, you know, people are, I'm not in any way judging her, because everybody, you know, does what they do. And if your children are thriving and they're doing okay, then who am I to judge you because they don't live with you? As long as they're not being abused, they're being taken care of, they're fed, they're clean, they're healthy, then it is what it is, right? So people, you know, were cutting up about the fact that, you know, she said that her kids don't live with her, and then she went in to further discuss the fact that she has them on and off for a year. So they stay with the father for a year, and she keeps them for a year. And that's weird as fuck for me, because I feel like that's kind of disruptive to a child, but I guess more stable than the every other week thing that people be doing, because I think that's crazy. But you know, I've seen those type of arrangements where people have their kid this week, like every other week. I feel like that's bananas. I know I keep saying that, but to me that's very disruptive. But you know, kids are resilient and they're adaptive, so they usually adapt to any situation they're put in, and if that's their norm, that's their norm. So again, not judging, just in my head it wouldn't work, but now I'm thinking about it, kids adjust nicely, so it is what it is. So the comments came up about, because people automatically assume that if a woman doesn't have custody of her child at the moment, the way she said it, you know, she did something, or why would they take away custody? But she never said that. She just said they weren't living with her. And kudos to her. She kind of went into it more, saying that, you know, the father of her children are great parents, and, you know, they're great fathers, and she feels like that because they donated half of their DNA, that's just how I talk, that they have just as much right to time with their children as she does, and things of that nature, right? So again, I'm not, you know, she has 2 sons and a daughter. People felt some kind of way, like, oh yeah, I see the boys going with their father, but how couldn't the little girl I think was 3, a 3-year-old, why would you send her to be with her father? And honestly, it is what it is. I feel like in our minds we have these stigmas and stuff like that about male-female relationships, and a lot of people feel like, just like they feel like a woman can't raise a man, they feel like a man can't raise a woman. I feel like as long as you have role models, positive role models around your children, the gender of the parent does not matter, as long as the children are getting what they need from their environment. With that being said, I don't know. I feel like I'm torn about this 100% thing. Personally, if y'all know me, if y'all watch my videos, y'all know that I could never do it. But that's not saying that other people can't. That's not saying that other people wouldn't. I feel like a lot of women would benefit from that type of situation if the male counterpart was as capable as she was. I feel like a lot of times, unfortunately, the fathers of the children aren't as capable as the mothers. And I'm not talking about being available, because I've seen and experienced myself in parenting where the parents are there, the other parent is there. Yes, they can take the child, but they're not as capable as you are. And not to say that everyone has to parent the same, but there's basic needs that have to be met. And a lot of times men don't have the same bonds, they don't have the same relationships, and therefore they can't fulfill the same needs. What is nurturing to some might be babying or coddling to others. And you have to know your children. And yes, boys need to be nurtured and coddled and comforted just as much as girls do. And a lot of males feel like, oh, he's gonna be a sissy, this, that, and the third. So it's a lot of moving parts that, again, I went around the corner, up the block, down the street, and jumped off the building. But we're bringing it back. How do you guys feel about that? Like, do you feel like there's anything wrong with the situation with the father having custody of the children for a year? She basically said she sees her daughter when she 1, 2, 3. Then she said, oh, I see her every weekend. I can just pull up and see her whenever I want. And her father will make her available to me. And then, the boys, she said she sees them whenever she wants. That's basically what she just kept saying. Oh, whenever I want, whenever I want, whenever I want. She didn't really say there was any such schedule or anything like that. But she said she'll have them for the entire year, the following year, next year. And it's through court and all of this good stuff. So, again, it seems like it's structured. It seems like she seemed like a sound individual. And she seems like she needs the break. Most people need a break from parenting, and a lot of people, especially single parents, don't get that break. So I feel like if it works for her and it works for her kids, then good for them, good for her. And I'm glad the fathers are active, available, and hopefully competent parents, because she mentioned some characteristics of the fathers why she's not with them, but hopefully that's different as a parent. Because a lot of people don't realize that people in relationships are not the same as parents. And yes, some qualities do spill over, but sometimes it's like night and day. Sometimes it's like two different people. And a lot of people hold on to what went wrong in relationships and how people spoke to them or whatever and all these things. I mean, I'm not talking about abuse, but I just mean just in general. So a lot of people are salty because the relationship didn't work out, and the guy or woman necessarily wasn't bad. They just was like, nah, it's not going to work out. Now all of a sudden they're not a fit parent. Like, I don't agree with that. But again, let's bring it back. Hopefully, everybody is competent, aware, and they work together, and the kids are happy, healthy, and all that good stuff. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think it's so far-fetched that the woman has on and off yearly custody of her children? Do you think it matters the genders and ages of the children? Let me know. That's it. I'm going to stop talking.